Naama, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Ben.
Naama, by way of introduction, you and your husband are Israeli born, of course, but just as with so many Israelis, had your grandparents chosen a different path, I imagine you could well have ended up sitting in our audience in the UK this evening.
Maybe in the UK, maybe in the United States, maybe in Canada, because we have family all over the world. My mother is a mixed origin, okay? Her parents, one of them, her mother is from Germany, and my grandmother, the one from Germany, she left Germany just before the start of the Second World War II with her family. They left to Israel, but some of the family went to the United States. My grandfather, he came from, those days it's called Hungary, today it's called Romania, it's from Transylvania. And he chose to come to Israel as a young man. He came with Aliyat Noah when he was 15.
That was the youth Aliyah, where it was just the kids who came.
Yes, he came in the age of 15. And also we have family from his side that live around the world. My father is born in Iraq. And when the Jews from Iraq went to Israel, some of them went to Iran, and some of them went to Canada, and some are in France. So we have family all over.
Yeah.
And my husband's family is also from several places. His grandfather and grandmother from his father's side came from Romania, but from his mother's side came from the Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic.
Yes, and his grandfather, he used to be a soldier in the army there in World War II.
Right.
So again, you can say that we are the mix of Israel.
Yeah, absolutely. So that, I mean, in further context for us, a lot of us in the UK, we holiday in Israel. Our kids go on tours around Israel. Just place yourself in context of the Israeli geography that we might understand. Where do you live now? Where was Bar brought up?
Today we live in a small town called Kiryat Ivon. It's on the road between Haifa and Nazareth. Okay, it's the start of the Israel Valley. Okay, it's the start of this valley. And Bar was raised and born in Ramat Isha. It's also a very small town, you can say village, nearby, near Kiryat Ivon. We lived there for a long time, when Bar was born and until he was killed. And we moved to Tivon. It was planned, so we moved to Tivon after he was killed. But it was planned, he knew that we are going to leave Ramat Isha and move to Tivon.
Right.
So this is the area, we are in the north side of Israel. A lot of green here. The mountain Carmel you can see the Carmel from our house and also the sea. And you can see the Valley of Israel in the next slide.
Yeah, amazing. Well, talking of views, we can see Bar behind you. So let's talk about Bar. I mean, let's talk about that fantastic smile. He sounds super talented in sport, driven academically, from what I understand. He was a bit of a party animal as well. He's quite a man.
So you can see Bar behind me. It's a very, very big picture, almost the size of a human being. And you can see his smile. He was such a kid that always smiled. So this is the main thing that you can see about him. And he's our oldest son. Okay, he was firstborn. He also the first grandchild of the two families. Right. So you can imagine that he was very spoiled. And Bar had many qualities. You don't see usually a lot of those things together, because you're correct, he was a very good son. He was very He liked to be with the family. He thought the family is very important, and he was a very good student. He graduated from high school. He learned physics and computers with very good
with the grades.
Very good grades, yes, sorry. And he also was an athlete, a very good athlete. He was, I say, athlete in heart. He trained. The possibility here in Israel, if you're a very good athlete, then your team can ask that you will stay on the team, then you will do a very easy army. It will be near your house, so you can come to the pool to practice. It's a possibility, to the pool or to whatever sport you're doing. And he had the opportunity to choose it, but he was not sure that this is the way for him, because we live in an area where the kids, they know that the army is the most important thing, and you have to go to the army and give your best to the country. And this is the time that you need to give it and not to yourself. And also Bar was brought us up in our house, and his father was an officer in the army, and in the regular army, a career
soldier.
Yes. And this is something that he was brought up with, to know that he has to give the most of himself. So he got the opportunity to stay as a sportsman, but he was really struggling with the decision. He decided to try to go to the special units. Okay, for the special units, you have to pass all kinds of gibushim.
The special tests, the trials to get you through to the elite units.
Yes, in going to the elite units, you need those trials. And he passed several of them. And he was supposed to go to a unit called Sheshesh-Teisha. Sheshesh-Teisha is from the Air Force for rescue. Okay, this is a unit that do rescue. And he passed everything, but then in the end, he told the guys that did interview with him, he told him that he's not sure that he wants to be a sportsman in the army or to go to the army for combat. So they told him, if you're not sure, this is not the place for you. So we came to the point that he knew that the special units will not be for him. He will go to the regular army, or he will stay as sportsman. And we had a lot of conversation at home. He had a lot of conversation with his friends, the one from the water polo, because he was playing with older guys that already was in the army and already knew a lot of things that he didn't know. And he was struggling, but we decided to give him the opportunity to decide for himself. We won't tell him what to do. We brought him until now, and we believe that he knows what will best be for him. Because he was very, very good athlete. If he would have stayed in the water polo team, I suppose he would have go to play in the United States and learn to college over there, okay, because he was such good athlete.
So I guess he knew what he was giving up. He knew that he was weighing up the pros, the cons, trying to decide what to do, and he ultimately decided to join a combat unit.
Yes.
He joined the engineers.
He was the combat engineer. It's called the combat engineer because they are combat unit. They are going in front of the army, okay? They prepare the ground for all the units that will come after it. They clear the minefield, they build the bridges for the heavy vehicles that comes after. They blow up buildings that is making danger for the army. Okay, this is the kind of work they are doing.
Yeah, they're preparing the ground for the
Yes,
rest.
and they are going in the front, combat engineer soldiers, they go into combat with Chel Raglim, I think it's called infantry patrol,
Yeah.
okay? They are first before everyone else.
And he attained the grade of lieutenant, officer. This is something, he had to go through a process to get there.
So I didn't understand.
He got the grade, he got the officer's level, he got to the second
Yes.
lieutenant. So that's more than just regular army. Is that right?
No, he was asked to go to commando courses. You first has to be in the first one, but then you can go to the officer course. Because he was a very clever kid and a very bright one, and they saw the potential of him to be in command. And he said, no, I don't want to. I want to stay a simple soldier. And this was what he said for 2 years. For 2 years, he decided he wanted to stay. He was in a small unit that do engineering intelligence, okay? They are going before the engineering soldiers, okay? They are going even before. And he decided he will not go to any commando courses. But then after 2 years, he came and said, okay, now I'm ready. Because he believed that before you can be a commando, you need to be a very good soldier. And he said that now I know enough to command on other soldiers and ask them to come after me.
Yeah. Gosh. So he felt ready. By the time he was doing it, he felt personally he was ready to do it.
And so 2 years after he started the army, 1 year before he's going off, he decided to continue and now go to the officer course. This means that you have to sign more years in the army.
Right. And to bring it close to the time when Protective Edge was launched, I understand that he was actually on leave from the officers course when Naftali Frenkel and his 2 friends were kidnapped. What was happening in your world, in Bar's world, when all that was going on?
He was the officer course in Israel. It has 2 parts. The first part is something general. You learn how to be a commando, okay? Just to command on people, how to be a leader. And this is all the combat soldiers are doing it together, the first part. He was in the end of this part when Naftali Frenkel and his 2 friends were kidnapped. And all the army was on his legs to look for them, okay? Everyone in Israel was with the news all the time to see if something is happening. And he was on leave between the 2 parts of the officer course. The first part was the one that he did, and the second part, you learn how to be a professional officer, okay? So
when he was on leave, he was able to go searching for the boys with the army, or he was?
No, he was sent home. Only the infantry soldiers stayed to search for those kids. The engineering, the combat engineering soldiers went to the leave. He was in Eilat. He tried to kite surf. You can see, but I have a kite surfing behind me. Okay, and then he came back after 2 days and said, I know that they will call us soon. And he was right. On Wednesday, they called and said he has to go back to the army, to his base, so to be prepared for going into combat. They told them that there is an option that the army will go into Gaza Strip. So he went, like his friends, Okay, a lot of his friends was called this day back to the units.
Yeah, and you spoke to him, I think, last on the Thursday before the tragic incident.
Yes, he was for more than a week in his with his unit in the base in the south, but then they went to be near Gaza, to be prepared to go in if needed. And we talked with him last time. Me and Effie talked with him last time on Wednesday, the 16th of July. And he told us that don't worry, and Ima, everything is okay. And I told him that there is missiles, and he said, it's okay, the missiles are not coming for me, don't worry. And we are protected, and he told us that someone invited them to his house to take a shower and gave him a home-cooked meal. And he said, oh, see, Ima, everything is okay. I'm taking care for myself and don't worry. And this was the last time I heard from him. On Thursday, the 17th, he called Moran. Moran is my young brother. He and Bar was very, very close. They have 10 years between them. And they were brought up like brothers, not like uncle and nephew. So he called Moran. He told him, I think it's close. I think they are, meaning this time, they are seriously meaning that something will happen because
he was expecting
when Bar finished his first training in the army, also was Mivtza Amud Anan. And on Amud Anan, they didn't go inside the Gaza Strip. But this time he told Moran that he thinks they mean serious now. So Moran told him, take care of yourself, of course, and also please call grandma and grandpa and talk with them. And he did. He was a good kid. He liked his grandparents because we are very close family. We are together every Friday for Shabbat dinner. And all the times that something is happening with someone, everyone is together. We live nearby and we are always together. So he called them and again told my mother that everything is okay and Sapta, don't worry, I'm okay and I'm safe and nothing will happen to me. And then he called Moran again and told him, Moran, I think are taking the phone soon, so this, you know what this means. When they are taking the phone, this means that the army is going to go inside. This was clear, and he told Moran where he is and with what unit. This is how we knew where he is in the area. And then he told Moran, I have to close, they want me to give the phone. And this was the last time that we heard from him. It was Thursday, almost noon. And in the evening, we heard in the news that the army with the Tzamchanim unit went into Gaza Strip on Khan Yunis area. And we knew that Bar is there also.
Yeah. And they went in advance of the Tzamchanim to prepare.
Yes, they went in advance of the Tzamchanim to prepare the area for the army to go in. After the Tzamchanim came the Chel HaShirion, with the tanks, with the big tanks. So they have to prepare the area. They have to build the safe place, the shield for the army to be inside the combat area. They did a lot of things that the engineering corps do, okay? I'm not sure the special what, but they did. But they entered into Gaza. We didn't hear from him from this day. And after his friends and officers told us that the vehicle that he was traveling with was stuck in this area on Friday afternoon. So they fixed everything and on Saturday afternoon, will be the 19th of July. They finished the repairing. They was getting ready to go for a mission for dealing with some terrorist tunnels in this area when the missile hit the vehicle and Bar was killed.
Yeah.
So this was the start of our new life.
A new life. And
Yes.
you were trying to have a normal life, making life as normal as possible for your kids, your younger kids, that weekend, and come home to every mother's nightmare, I imagine.
Yes. You know, it was July. July is also in the UK, also in Israel. This is the time off from school. We had 3 young kids. Nir is the oldest one. He was 17. He was finishing school already. And he was in, this day he was in a trip with friends. And we had two more with Ron. Ron is a kid, is a girl. She was 15. And Rotem is the youngest one. He was 11. And we went to the beach. This is a place to be in the summer when you are very worried. To sit on the sand with the telephones in our hands, maybe Bar will call. We didn't know that when we came to the beach, he was killed. We just heard it on the evening when we came back. They gave us a few minutes to organize, and then the officers knocked on the door.
Well, every year, Naama, we hear these painful stories on Yom Hazikaron, and every year we share just an ounce of the pain that you suffer as parents of a fallen soldier. Naama, you must know that you have friends in the UK sharing your grief tonight and honoring Bar's memory.
Thank you.
Now, many others have chosen to honor his memory. I believe there's even a drill in the officers' course named after him. Is that the case in the officers' course?
Yes, because Bar believes that you need to be excellent soldier. They chose to name a drill in the officer course that is checking the knowledge of the new officer to come in how to be an engineering corps soldier on the main skills. So this is happening 3 times a year. 3 times a year you have the officer course, and in this drill they are running all the night in the field. Okay, they are doing a lot of exercises, and we are watching them. And then in the morning, when they are very tired, we are having a ceremony for Bar memory. And this is very touching to see them. Because you know that those kids, they are young soldiers, they are always in his age. They are always 21. His friends is already 29. So they are always 21.
Yeah.
And also there is a lot of other activities that very good people are doing for us and helping us to remember Bar. There is a trip, a road around Ramat Yishai, the place that Bar was brought up and raised and also killed. With it's very nice road around the town that you can walk, and there is a place with water that you can sit and have some time off. Okay,
the road is called
Shvil Bar.
Shvil Bar.
Yes, and in every year the first day that you opened the pool in Ramat Yishai, this was not the pool that he trained, but this is the pool that he was going to when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, every year, the first day is also with his name. Okay, it's a very fun day. A lot of kids, a lot of fun, water, what can go wrong.
In his name.
And also there is some guys, they called Soldiers Without Borders. Those
I
are
think in English, Heroes for Life as well is the organization.
Heroes for Life, okay, maybe, I don't know. And there are kids from Israel that are going to the big trip after the army. They are stopping the big trip for 2 weeks to volunteer in the community.
So this is when Israelis post-army go traveling the world, and we see these kids all over the world.
Yes, they are
going a program where they volunteer.
Bar team will volunteer always in the same community in Lima, Peru.
So there's a set opportunity for the kids to volunteer in Peru, named after
Bar. This year, Ron, our kid, will go with them also. She's going on the 19th of April. She's going to Peru, and she will be with them this year.
Fantastic.
So this is also something that is happening every year. And also, if everyone will look in the Facebook, there is a page for Bar Memory, and also in Instagram, and a lot of people is taking the picture with the hashtag Metailim in Bar. It's mean traveling with Bar.
Yes, now you did tell me this, and I think we should try and encourage the kids this year when they are traveling to Israel to try and do a hashtag with the Metailim in Bar hashtag.
I sent Sarah the picture. They can print it and use it.
So we will try to encourage the kids to travel with Bar to Metailim in Bar.
I will be glad to see it.
So look. Tomorrow we have Yom Hazikaron parties to consider. Sounds like Bar would want us to party hard to celebrate. Maybe to just put a smile back on our faces, like Bar's. What was he doing to get his name so well known in northern Israel on the party scene?
I suppose that Bar we want everyone to party, because this was the kid he was. He liked to party, he liked to drink, he liked to have fun, he liked the water, okay? And this is the way we are trying to raise our other 3 kids, because we are very sad, okay? It's very hard to lose the kids. But we still have 3 more kids, his brothers and sister, that need to be raised, and they need a regular and normal family. Even they remember their brother, they miss their brother, but they need a normal family. So we encourage them also to go and party. Okay, I can't, but they can. So they are going each year to the party on Yom Ha'atzmaut, like he loves to do, because in the small towns, everyone is going to the center and everyone is meeting, and this is the kind of parties they have.
Well, when we party this year on Yom Ha'atzmaut, we will do justice to Bar's memory.
Thank you.
Celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut. We will tiul in his name. We will remember him, and we just thank you enormously for joining us. These are difficult conversations at a horrendously difficult time of year for you, Naama. So thank you for your time.
If I just can add something that is very important me to add on those kind of conversation, is when we are talking about the ones that is not with us anymore, we are always talking about the good things. They are all of them were clever and nice and fun and everything. But I want also, maybe a lot of kids are watching us also, to remember that he was a kid like them, okay? He did a lot of stupid things like every kid. He did also a lot of good things, but he did also the stupid things. He liked to party. He likes to do whatever they like to do. He was a kid like everyone else, and he wanted to live. He didn't want to die, but he did.
He
He did give his life.
And he gave up his life, and he weighed it up, and he knew it was, I guess every Israeli kid knows that's a possibility, and amazing that he of all kids had that choice not to, and that is what really touched me. When we heard the story, we really wanted to get in touch, because here you have your son Naama, who had the choice not to. He had the choice.
Yes, he had the choice, and he decided that he need to go to the army to give most of what he can to the army. This was his decision. It's not very obvious decision. I know it's not obvious, but for him it was obvious.
It was, and that's why it's so important for anyone who calls themselves a Zionist outside of Israel. We cannot join the army. We can do lots, but tonight on Yom Hazikaron, we must, if we call ourselves a Zionist, stand in solidarity with you as parents, and thank you so much for your sacrifice.
Thank you for remembering Bar. It's also, we know that this is not obviously.
Yeah.
And we thank you for remembering Bar, me and my whole family.
Well, thank you very much. And maybe we will meet in Israel.
You're most welcome. You can come and you can see his room. A lot of medals here and a lot of things that he likes over here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And let's wish those who are watching us, to thank them for joining us in remembering Bar, and wish everyone also Chag Sameach.